Hello and welcome to another episode of Techfanaticofficial, your honest guide to the Cryptoverse. Today I'm going to talk about Cookie3, which is more of think of it as a Google Analytics tool, but in the Web3 space, in the Metaverse space, and helping people interpret the on-chain data into building behavioral profile of individuals. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview. There's a paradigm shift between what's happening in Web 2 and Web 3. Now people in Web 3 have their own wallets. They have their own information that they can track on chain. And that's quite different from what used to happen in the cookies in Web 2 space, like Google Analytics and other tools. So in the past, the data was used by the cookies, by these companies like Google for their own benefit and targeted marketing. But right now with Web3, these could be used while keeping the privacy of the users, but more on the wallet address, wallet information. And Cookie3 can interpret them all for the benefit of projects on blockchain, but also for the users, and also, reward people based on that. But your privacy is secured because it is more the data of your wallet, and the wallet is not tied into the name of the individual. Now, there's a lot of behavioral analytics that you can see in the space of cryptocurrency and blockchain space. One of the exciting ones are analytics of NFTs. So Cookie3, for example, can interpret the data by aggregating and processing this data into NFTs and building information based on the smart contracts. There's a huge amount of potential using the AI and machine learning processes. So think about, at the moment with NFTs, you can buy real estate on different projects, on lands in Metaverse. You can have fashion items, you can have NFT art, and these can tie into, information on the art galleries, what sort of art are more interesting for people, what sort of licenses for real estate, what sort of events for social media component, and so on and so on. So there's a huge amount of space where people can use and utilize the analytics information. The market potential is really huge. I'm not going to quote the number here, but as you know, the market cap for crypto right now is $2 trillion. And the marketing side of all crypto projects are one of the most important sides of it. And this $400 billion in digital marketing is obviously true because a lot of projects allocate 20% of the budgeting to the marketing side. And imagine how much money they need to spend for the current space in marketing without having this information, without actionable insight to have an accurate reflection. So there's a huge potential for this sort of products. The project has a few core products. So they have an ad targeting. And with their ad targeting, they, similar to the ad share or ad targeting that happens in the other spaces, based on the behavior, they can target the users based on their behavioral profile in the wallet, in that metaverse or other projects, and they do a targeted advertisement. They can do scoring mechanism for NFT airdrops, for minting, for launchpads, because right now a lot of them are they're analyzing the token holding and staking mechanism, which is more the financial side of aspects, whereas there's always other aspects in communities and launchpads, for example, and also with guilds, not just launchpads. For example, if you're an active member of the community, or if you do a lot of artwork for the community, if you do a lot of posts, help them in the social media aspects, you probably want to get rewarded. So this helps the launchpads, the DAOs, the guilds also to reward people for that. Then there will be a customer profile report for different projects that collaborate with this tool. There can be a content personalization. And of course, there's a link between Web 2 and Web 3 because they're not exclusive. They can be interlinked. One of the most important examples can be, metaverses and sandbox or other projects or Decentraland, where the Cookie3, for example, could be used just like here to be giving you an advertisement based on the behavioral statistics and analytics that gives the right advertisement for the right audience in the right marketplace. So as I mentioned, Decentraland would be one of the, for example, projects where people can see these advertisements based on their user profile behavior and the wallet address. And of course, as I've always mentioned in my videos, there's a lot of focus on launch pads, on crowdfunding, on airdrops and NFT mints. And scoring right now is not so focused, again, on what you do as a guild member, as a DAO member, as an NFT holder. It's more just what you hold. So that's a shift to reward good behavior and loyalty and support of projects as well. That's a sample, for example. So if someone's providing a cool meme, for example, for a DAO project, they're showing here that, okay, they're getting an allocation on the launchpad, they're claiming an airdrop, and then they're doing an NFT mint, but you have different scores in that decentralized autonomous organization or DAO. And this is for a gaming project. So you get a score for meme, you get a score as a DAO member and community management and activity. You get a score for holding the tokens. So this is the token aspect. You get a gaming aspect. So if you're a holder, not enough. You need to also play the games and contribute to the game side and be a daily active users. And your score as well is going to be another one, right? So based on this, you get an average score, which determines your ranking and the type of reward you can get. But at the moment, it's usually focused on these two aspects. So this is sometimes the gaming score as well. So having a holistic aspect is something that's missing right now in the space, and this sort of projects can help. There's a huge market, yes, for these sort of projects. We don't need to go through this. And of course, there's a whole analytics of the metaverse, as I just mentioned. Again, there's a lot of projects in metaverse right now, Sandbox, Decentraland, who are attracting a lot of people. Even a lot of artists are coming in right now, pop stars, influencers, job trainers, who are coming here. And that means opportunity to do advertisement by being targeted, basically. And this is just giving an information of where the Web3 is and Web2. So as they say, the market cap is Web2 is more persuasive, and Web3 is right now is more on being accessible, relevant, and usable in terms of adoption for the clients. The user friendliness is right now the topic. When you see my videos, that's what I talk about. But that personalization and persuasiveness that you see in Web2 based on your behavior hasn't come into the Web3 space and crypto space yet. So that's something that some projects like Cookie3 can give you that. Now, that's also something to talk about in terms of the DAO 2.0. So the current structure of DAO is based on the holding of tokens, the membership that you have. But with the behavior analytics side of things, the DAO can also become something different. Your activities, your participation, your behavior will also be something that will integrate into that structure. They do have competitions in this space. So they're basically doing a chart based on high-level flow and analytics, price trading, and market personalization. So you see there's a lot of them in the quadrant of being trading, anti-money laundering, pricing aspects with a high-level flow, whereas low-level detail analytics, they don't really have a competition, especially to be market personalized product. Nansen is more, again, back to the quadrant of pricing and low-level analytics, whereas Cookie3 is more on the market personalization. So that's the first mover advantage that the project has. In terms of the roadmap, they've already done the team building research, doing a proof of concept, completing their website, pitch decks, and partnerships. Over the last few months, they've also focused on closing the seed round, the private round, the partnerships, finalizing their white papers. And now just started the Q2 in April. They're now focusing on dynamic checking of their wallets, integration with decentralized applications, partnering with launchpads, with DAOs, with guilds, marketing, and exploring different chains that they can come in. And of course, their IDO and private sale, which is targeted in May, sort of the second half of May for their IDO and also for their so here is private sale closing in April, but IDO is going to be sort of the second half of May, along with the token generation event. And soon after, they're going to have the launch of the dashboard application. In Q3, they're going to be more AI and machine MA implementation, and then they're going to explore more chains and integration between Web2 and Web3 because they want to be as precise as possible In Q4, they're going to do, again, continue that DApp integration, but they're going to also give airdrops to the holders of the token. They're going to start doing utility NFT drops for the holders, and also development of the DAO and the Metaverse is something that's more in 2023. So there's a lot of utility and growth for this project in terms of the potential. The team is relatively experienced. They have the CEO and co-founder Filip, who used to work in Deloitte, and he has experience in IT, banking, and marketing, and involved in this crypto space and DAOs over the last 4 years. The other co-founder, Wojtek, I think his name, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, is the architect behind this project, and he's expert in designing the end-to-end IT solutions for the product. And he's also experienced in the finance sector. They've got experience, the marketing lead, who has been experiencing this in other projects, and the rest of the team as well are people that you can search on LinkedIn based on the pitch deck that's also available on the website to cross-check this information. In terms of the advisory, they have people from Synapse Network, which is a launchpad, as well as a technology company, as well as a venture capital company behind it. And they also have a lot of entrepreneurs from Poland behind the project, and also they have the CEO of the Blockchain Ventures Hub behind it. So there are some good partnerships and advisories that's formed. The go-to-market product is pretty much looking at 4 different revenue streams. So in terms of revenue streams, they're going to have the ads marketplace, which is similar to what happens in the Web2 companies. They've got the business-to-business customers that's going to be using that, and they're going to be the intermediary between the product. For the launchpads, as I mentioned earlier, they could be also useful, especially for that behavior analytics side, for the B2B side, direct acquisition of the new projects, tokens, and NFTs, but again, based on the insight that they can drive, and also even to analyze the capital of venture capital portfolio, and also community VCs behind this. So these are the sort of utility and go-to-market strategy that they have right now. And there's some examples here on AdShares as the ad marketplace that they're collaborating with, Synapse Network as a launchpad, CyberLive as a direct acquisition, and Spartan. And this is the potential. So 2,100 advertisers, 50 crypto projects, 10 metaverse and gaming projects for Spartan. In terms of the token utility, it's a cryptocurrency used for this one. Cookie3 is going to be used for all services in the project, and staking as a subscription is one of the services. So when you do the staking, you can use it as a subscribe method, and the more you stake, obviously you're going to have the better rates and better discounts and better sort of service, more premium service. You can be part of the DAO once the DAO is formed and help them in decision making. There's going to be the value sharing program with the community and business partners. So you're going to get some direct returns as a token holders coming to you when you're holding this token. Now it's going to be through the price action and sometimes through probably airdrops and other campaigns, because they have business partners that going to be other projects. You can have access to premium products from the partnerships that they're going to form. And you're going to have access to the Web3 marketing community that also they're partnering for. And they have a governance platform as well that's going to be for advisors and partners. For individuals, if you're staking your wallet address, the wallet is going to be profiled, and that means your behavior analytics will be looked at from your address, and it can be sold by the company, and you will be rewarded 20% of the revenue they have made. So your information is not shared because it's just a wallet address. And if you're happy and consenting to give this information from your address, they can sell it to the customers and use the reports basically to provide those insights I just mentioned as the use case. And you'll receive 20% revenue from whatever they made as an income. So that means you're going to utilize your data to make an income as well. And the stakers also will reward a higher scoring for every utilization of the behavior that you have. So if they're going to have client IDOs, airdrops, and NFT whitelist, you're going to get a better scoring with the partners as well. So you might even get better access in the future launch of the projects. The project is also going to be really deflationary. So having 30% of the revenue directly translating into burning tokens and buying back of tokens. So that means they're going to aggressively try to reduce the price of the token, increase the price of the token, and reduce the circulation of the token, because they want to make sure 30% of everything they make is buyback. As I mentioned, revenue stream is the smart analytics subscription that they have, basic, premium, and enterprise. There will be a service purchase, and there will be a fee to integrate the system with dApps, decentralized applications, and other applications. And this is the token utility flow. So there's going to be the revenue with the DAO, community support, staking, and the revenue stream that I just mentioned. And the revenue structure is going to be the ads targeting, the NFT airdrops, NFT mints, customer profile report, content personalization, the link between Web2 and Web3 that translates into the cookie token. 30% of all of these income will be burned. There will be a 20% staking, and 50% of them will be back in the treasury for maintenance. So this is how the revenue structure is going to operate for the project. And they also will gonna have this for the business to customer or B2C customers. Again, this is gonna be personalized NFTs, and for example, OpenSea royalties coming to Cookie3, and then the revenue is gonna be divided the same. So 20% goes to the staking pools, 30% will be burned and be part of the buyback mechanism with the DAO to increase the price of token. And then there will be a maintenance fee for the treasury and for the operations. In terms of the token distribution, 14% is for strategic and seed sale, 12% is for private sale, 6% is for public sale, which is the launchpad section, 14% is for the team, 3% is for advisory, 15% is for the ecosystem development, 15% is for the treasury, which is locked by the DAO, 5% is for liquidity and listing, 8% is going to be for marketing and partnerships, and 8% is going to be for community incentives, for example, staking, airdrops, and rewards, and such. In terms of the vesting schedule, they have this strategic round. That's the, I'm going to see, no, this slide is better. So yeah, in the strategic round, they have the price of 0.06 or 6 cents, and they will have a release of token 4% on token generation event. And then they're going to be a vesting of 12 months. So people get around 7 to 8% of tokens per month. Seed sale is going to be 5% release at TGE, and the price is higher. So it's going to be 8 cents. And the rest of them will receive their token over a period of 10 months. So around 9 to 10%. Private sale participants will receive 6% of their tokens on TGE, while the rest of the months is going to be 8 months. So as a TGE participant, you're paying a slightly higher price, around 30% higher, but you are subjected to a smaller vesting period. And as an IDO participant, you'll get 8% of your tokens on TGE, and you'll get everything within the 6 months period. Now, the price of strategic round is double the price of launchpad, which is the IDO round. But overall, the pricing is not too strict, especially between the private sale and launchpad. It's not too different. It is quite fair. And the valuation as well is relatively fair, because there's 100 million tokens. So there's 100 million cookie tokens. That means the launchpads or public sale participants will access this token at a price of 14 cents, which is a fully diluted market cap of $14 million, the valuation for this business. The team will have a 6 months cliff and then a vesting of 30 months. Advisor is going to have 3 months cliff and 33 months vesting. Ecosystem development, 12 months cliff, 24 months vesting. And then there's a treasury for 36 months, liquidity vested for 12 months after a 25% release on TGE, and then 36 months for marketing and community incentive release. They have almost completed their fundraising. and they've raised $3.3 million for a project valued at $14 million, which is 32% of the total. And they're soon going to have their IDO. We talked about how they're going to structure the revenue over time, but the detail is basically around 50% of the revenue is more on product maintenance and development. The buyback is going to be 30 and 20 for the staking, and this will change over time to be more maintenance by 2025, and then buyback and burning and staking to go down to 10%. They have key investors in the project, such as Spartan, LD Capital, Big Brain Holdings, and Orange DAO. Spartan is one of the top tier VC groups, LD Capital as well, and they're close to DAO Maker as a launchpad. I can't give any speculation, but I think that's usually where I see LD Capital. Big Brain Holdings is really active in this metaverse space, and Orange DAO is a community of 1,200 alumni from Y Combinator, which is a really great investor to have in the portfolio of projects. Some of the partnerships as well for the project include AdShares, Metaverse, Synapse Network, CyberLife, ChainProx, and HashUp. So that's the sort of coverage I wanted to give for the project. And in terms of their social media, they right now have 12.5K followers, and they are really active on a day-to-day basis. They have always news coming out in terms of their AdShares announcement. They had a really cool AdShares collaboration in the Metaverse 2 weeks ago. They're also talking about the new backers that they have. The CEO yesterday was a guest with Forward Protocol project, which is also another nice project to build partnership and also talk about what they have done. And yeah, as you can see, they're aggressively growing their community on Telegram as well. Now, the surprise that I have for you today is, because I know this project is going to have a lot of questions. It's a new project. Behavior analytics of the metaverse and Web3 is something very new. I'm actually interviewing the CEO of the project to answer some of the key questions that you might have about the project, and also how they're going to strategize their growth and development for both the product and also the community. So I hope you enjoyed my quick description and overview of the project. And now I'll pass it over to the next section of my video, which is more to talk with Filip, the CEO of the project for Cookie3. Today, I'm very happy to introduce you to Filip, who's the CEO and co-founder of Cookie3, which is a leading Web3 analytics tool, especially for GameFi and Metaverse. And I wanted to ask a few questions to make you familiar with the project, especially that the project is going to probably launch around the time of May. So welcome, Filip, to the channel, and thanks for your time.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for having me, Adi. It's a pleasure to be with you and to be interviewed by you. Really looking forward for it.
Great. So first question, always I like to get to know the team and yourself more. So can you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and also what made you think about the idea of Cookie3 as a project?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So I'm Filip. I'm CEO and co-founder of Cookie3. I'm involved in crypto for over 4 years, since 2017. Professionally experienced in marketing, IT, and banking, last position in Fortune 500 company. As every CEO, I'm responsible for a lot of stuff in the company, especially for making some strategic decisions in terms of the product development, business development, marketing, operations. So I'm also the front guy of all of the talks with the investors, partners, and B2B customers. And together with Wojtek, our CTO and co-founder of Cookie3, we organized the whole structure of the company from the scratch and boosted its growth to the size and the stage we are currently at.
Great. Would you like to say a bit more about the rest of the team and the formation, or if not, that's fine as well. Maybe just
sure, of course. So we have 14 people on board already. From which 10 of them are technical oriented. So we have IT engineers, analysts on the on-chain side, also developers on the backend and front end, data scientists. We have also PhD candidate in terms of the data mining. So we have pretty strong competencies on the technical side. The rest of the team is more focused on the UI, marketing, and the business side.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Now let's think about your product a little bit and dive into that. So I personally am very excited because I see a lot of potential for the analytics space in Web3. But I wanted to hear from you, because it's your project, that why do you think there's going to be a demand in Web3? Where do you think this demand will be most coming from? And how big this will get in terms of a market size, you think?
Yeah, sure. So every company in the world needs data to get insights, to understand the behaviors of their customers. Every company in the world would like to target, really precisely target the potential customers and audiences they would like to reach. Every company would like to provide the best user experience for all of the customers they are using. I'm talking about digital companies, of course. So the thing is that it is already being done and it is already covered in Web2 space. So like we have Google Analytics, we have analytics providers for targeting ads, for personalization of the content, for getting better insights of the customers, for all those stats and analytics. But it is not the case in Web3 yet. Because of the lack of the data and lack of the provider of those data. And this is why we came up with Cookie3 to enable that for the entire crypto market, for the entire Web3 space, and also all Web2 companies like big brands like Adidas, Marvel, Coca-Cola, Disney, Louis Vuitton that are already entering Web3 space with NFTs, with Metaverse, to start understanding the behaviors of their customers on this blockchain side, because the identifiers are the public keys of the wallets of this user, of their users, their buyers, their customers. So to understand them, firstly, to target ads and to reach audiences with the really laser target precision, to personalize the content of all those services that they will be providing and are providing already. So this is the thing we are providing. We'll be also focusing on enabling for the entire crypto market and on all new projects that are entering the space to start scoring behaviors of the potential investors, of the whitelisted wallets, to also reach only those guys and filter those guys that are valuable for the project, that are strong believers and holders, and will gain much higher value in terms of usability, in terms of the attraction of the users for the company, which is the ultimate goal of every B2C project, to attract new users. And we will be supporting that, and we will be providing the services to enable that for all of the companies that are already in the space and will enter it in the coming months and years.
Perfect. That's a great answer. Very excited to hear about this. Now, why do you think Web2 analytic tools wouldn't be able to enter this space? Or if they can, how do you see them as a competitor?
Yeah, so first of all, we have pretty few differences than the competitors on the Web2 space. First of all, we are analyzing on-chain data. So like our identifiers in our Dataverse are the public keys of the wallets. So we are analyzing history of the wallets. We are grouping them, matching with the groups that are owned by the same person, because it's quite obvious that no one has only one wallet. What's more, we are also focusing on matching those data with some off-chain data. So we are not only analyzing the on-chain data and creating behavior profiles on the on-chain side of the data, but also getting insights from the off-chain world, like internal data from dApps, from Metaverse platforms, DeFi protocols we will be integrating with. And except that, also off-chain data directly from Web2 sources like Twitter. Thanks to this PFP NFT authorization, we are able to match the wallet and the social profile of the same person, thanks to which we can get even more data about this person, about his or her followers, who is he following, types of activities, times of activities, geolocalization, and so on. Thanks to which we are getting even more data to create even more precise behavior profiles of the individuals. So this is the next thing. And this is all supported and covered without losing any kind of privacy, which is crucial change and paradigm shift in terms of providing the data and the insights by our companies. So all of these Facebook, Google's, tech giants are providing the services without supporting any kind of privacy. So they are selling our data to everyone, and except that we are losing this privacy due to them, we have nothing from it. And this will be also the paradigm shift and the game changer we will be implementing. So we will be sharing the value, we'll be sharing the rewards and the revenue of the company. Whenever some wallet is profiled by our analytics, we will share directly with him part of the revenue, thanks to which our token utility will be really broad in terms of the individuals that will be staking it. So if you will be the staker of our token, you will have much higher rewards in terms of the revenue sharing program and value sharing economy we are building. So these are the things that we are pretty different from the tech giants that are currently on the market. What's more, we have a token and we are from the Web3 originally. So the conversion in terms and the attraction and interest of our future partners and the integrators, I would say, will be much higher than the interest of integrating OpenSea, Uniswap, or Decentraland with Google or Facebook.
Perfect. Thanks for that. So you already touched a lot on the use case, I think, in your answer. But if you just want to summarize, what sort of projects and groups would be the target use case for your product?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we are focusing on business customers. So our target group, I would say, is pretty broad, because every company that is integrated at least with some public blockchain. Currently, we are supporting our EVM compatible blockchains, so like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon, Phantom, Arbitrum, and so on. So whenever some of the companies integrated with one of these blockchains, I would say we can bring a value added to this project by providing our services, either in terms of providing insights of the customers, or enabling personalization of the content of such platform, or targeting ads by this platform as an advertiser. So there are like unlimited use cases of our analytics, I would say. And I would also add that I'm pretty sure that we are not aware, even in our internal team, we are not aware of all of the use cases and future use cases that we'll be using and will be providing in the further stage of the Web3 development. But yeah, this is the thing with analytics. So we are like we are building this behavioral analytics hub, and the scope of the use cases and utilities of it is like a really I mean, sky is the limit in terms of the utilities, because we are also talking with some gaming guilds or NFT collections that would like to use our behavioral scorings for whitelists creation and so on. So there are like plenty of different use cases. We have two paths for doing that. So one path in terms of the business strategy is more long-term. So for example, with this ads targeting, this is not like big deal right now, but probably it will be massive in 5 to 10 years. In terms of the current market needs, we are providing this behavioral scoring or personalization of the content for all of the existing decentralized applications. So we have these two approaches with the long-term vision and short-term services that are needed currently on the market.
Great. That's perfect answer. Now, some people may ask, you have a lot of different use cases. How are you gonna, I guess, focus on all of them at the same time? Is it that you're gonna work on different iterations to focus on one and target others, or I guess your system is designed in a way that you could target all of them at the same time?
Yeah, great question. So in terms of the product development approach, all four products and use cases that we'll be launching in the nearest future, so like in the coming weeks and months, have the same logic behind them, have the same analytics engine, have the same architecture. So we are not developing four separate products, for example, but the features and use cases of them are pretty different. So for example, for ads targeting and for personalization of the content of the particular platforms, we need the same API and that we are providing to our cooperators, and the logic behind them is exactly the same. The same with scoring and the same with generating insights about the customers. So we are developing, we are extending and advancing our solutions, but we are doing it in parallel. So whenever we add some feature to one of our products, it will be automatically added to all of the rest. So this is the approach. In terms of the further stage of the development, we will be focusing on the scalability and matching on-chain data with off-chain. So that would be pretty challengeable. Yeah, so this is the thing in regards to the product development.
Nice. Same architecture. That's good. And the logic. So you touched on the point that in the next few weeks or months you will have the product. So can you share with us a bit about the timeline you're thinking in terms of the early version, like the beta version to be available, and also the full product rollout? And also, how will this be available? Is it going to be more targeted first for the DAOs, launchpads, guilds, or also public can do the testing?
Yeah, sure. So our first launch of the application will take place after the token launch. So like in May or June. Early June. So this is the timeline of it. Already we went live with ads targeting tool together with our strategic partners, AdShares. So every advertiser, so literally every existing company in the world is able right now to start targeting ads in Decentraland, because we've together with AdShares, we integrated with Decentraland. So it is already working as an MVP. The second use case and product will be for behavioral scoring for the launchpads. We are now focusing on the launchpads corporations. You can follow, and I highly recommend following our social medias, Twitter and Telegram specifically, to be always up to date with them, because we will be announcing our partnerships with few of the launchpads in the coming days and weeks. In terms of this behavioral scoring, in terms of the personalization of the content. So that will be coming in the nearest future. And with this application, with the dashboard for enabling customization, configuring all those insights and stuff, we will be launching it on late May or early June, together with a few possibilities to integrate with API, to configure reports about the insights of the customers and scoring as well. In terms of the usability for business cooperators, firstly, it will be possible to do that mainly for the companies and businesses. But secondly, in our pipeline, we have also a pretty interesting project to be launched exactly for the B2C customers, which is called Wallet Book. I don't tell you more about that because it's like it is not the strategy of our marketing team to talk about it currently. But yeah, I can say that we have a few surprises for our community there as well. And we will be after launching our application for the business companies, for the business customers, we will be strictly focusing on development of the B2C platform that will have also pretty interesting features in terms of behaviors, analytics, interactions with each other for the people.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Now let's talk about the community a little bit. As you know, community is the core of every blockchain project. Could you tell us a bit right now about some of the marketing community growth strategy plans that you have?
Yeah, sure. So we've started with like boosted community building last week. I'm like conducting 2 AMAs daily. So this is like pretty intense time for me. But yeah, so this is the strategies that we will be getting exposure to other communities that are on Telegram, Twitter. We are announcing partnerships almost every day with new investors, advisors, and so on. So we can also expect new announcements, new breaking news that are coming on our social media. So this is the thing. We are also cooperating with few marketing and PR agencies on that. Also, we are in advanced talks with few much bigger influencers that will also hype our project and make them aware of their communities. So we will get also broader audience in terms of the our product that we'll be launching. We will be also focusing on educational posts and content in the nearest future to enable understand the products that we will be providing by our community, because after implementing DAO structure, it will be really crucial to have strong believers in-house and to have them being involved in our business strategy and making decisions in terms of the further stages of the development of the company.
Great. So if some of these community members or early members are seeing this interview later on and trying to be part of the project, what do you recommend them to do? How can they reach out? Are you planning an ambassador program, or what is the plan for early community members?
Yeah, definitely. We will be probably announcing some ambassador program. I'm not sure when. It is more a question to our marketing lead. But yeah, the easiest way to be always up to date with all the announcements is to follow us on Twitter and Telegram, and to join our Telegram chat as well. Not only the announcements, to be always up to date, we have like incoming giveaways as well. And in terms of engagement by the particular person, if you like the project and if you'd like to engage much more than on average, just reach out our team members and admins on the moderators on the Telegram group, and we will give you a few possibilities in terms of the engagement to the project in more closer side. Yeah.
Sure, perfect. Now, a little bit about the, I guess, crypto part in terms of listing. I know you have really good backers and partners, but I can't share it obviously because that's on your discretion. But is it any partnerships, investment, or backers or projects that you're working with that you're happy to share in this interview, or you think it's too early?
Yeah, I mean, we announced few of them. For example, we have Spartan Group on board, which are pretty known backers and investors in this space. We have Orange DAO, which is quite really interesting DAO fund. It is run by 1200 Y Combinator alumni. So also if someone is hearing us from the like more traditional tech startup side, Y Combinator tells everything. Like this is the best accelerator in the world, and their alumni created the DAO fund that selected us out of few hundred other projects to be funded. So we also onboarded them in the first round. So happy to share that info with you. In terms of the partnerships, 3 big partnerships are coming probably in the next weeks. So I really highly recommend to follow our socials, because it is not announced yet, so I cannot tell it about more, but there will be 3 launchpads that we will be partnering in terms of our analytics providers and so on.
That's awesome. And I think I could share Synapse Network as a partner because it's in your pitch deck. So it's public. Yep. I'm careful about that. Now, in terms of your listing time and also IDO token generation event, when are you thinking about it? And also about the blockchain that you're using, is it going to be primarily at the first Binance Smart Chain and then moving to the other chains? Because I know it's ERC20 compatible.
Yeah, exactly. So our timeline for the TGE is to be done till end of May. So like second part of the May for the TGE and our IDOs on the launchpad that we will be cooperating in that terms. In terms of the token launch, it is not decided yet. Either it will be on Polygon or BSC, but it will be for sure on some EVM compatible network, because we are supporting our EVM compatible networks, as I mentioned. So yeah, so this is why we are boosting our marketing campaign right now, because we have still over 1 month to TGE and to all these IDOs with our launchpad that we are still finalizing talks with few of them. Yeah, so this is the approach here.
Great. Thanks for all this information. Now, is there some information, some piece of news or anything exciting that you want to share in this interview with the community?
I would say that really exciting news was like 2 weeks ago that we went live with first of its kind ads targeting tool in the metaverse. So we made a little bit history in terms of the marketing, word marketing, because we did it as a first ones together with AdShares, and we enabled all of the existing companies to start targeting ads in the metaverse. So I'm pretty excited that we managed to do that as a first ones in the world, and I'm looking forward for the next launches that I hope also will be the first ones in the world in terms of behavioral scoring, in terms of personalization, and insights to the all Web3 and Web2 companies that are entering the space on the blockchain and metaverse side.
Perfect. That's really exciting to hear. And I might ask you later on to share me the news and the link so I can put it in the channel for the community as well to follow what happened there. Sure. Surely very exciting. And thanks for your time today. It was really a pleasure to have you on board, as always. And I hope that we can continue this discussion in the future, especially maybe closer to launch or after launch, with more news and more partnership announcements. So thanks for your time, Filip.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise, really a pleasure to talk with you, Amit, as always, and looking forward for the next part of the marketing campaign and the actions that we will be performing.